Welcome to Phantasialand, where we've got just 5 hours to get done everything else that we need to in this fantastic German theme park. So hit like, hit subscribe and join us as we investigate. Here we are, day 2 at Phantasialand, and actually I just looked at the watch. That's not my watch, that's my locker. We've just bought lockers like we did yesterday, which is super helpful for all of our luggage in terms of flying over, staying over, that sort of duffel bag in the locker. €5 all day, pretty good. And we have a plan today. So park opens at 9 and we were here for like 8:30, I think the shuttle bus got us. We've had like trains and trams and shuttle buses, so it's been a lot of effort. But we're here for park open at 9, queues open at 10, so our plan is, and I don't normally say the plan at the beginning of the day, but this is currently what we've got. Fly at the beginning, first thing, it's worth a re-ride, and it should have a short queue. We do want to do the water rides, because 1, we've heard they're good. 2, it isn't as warm, but Josh really wants to do them, so the current plan is we don't think it's going to be as warm as yesterday, because it's looking quite overcast, which it did first thing yesterday, but we're thinking if we could do Fly, which is just here in Rookburgh, there, get that done, and then straight to the back, do Chiapas, and then head to the rapids and do that. Currently the plan, and then maybe some of the coasters rides after that. Will this plan work? I don't know, but we need to leave at 3, so we've got about 5 hours of ride time, so fingers crossed, pray for us, leave an F in the comments or whatever people do, and let's crack on. It is 9:56 in the morning. We have just entered the queue line for Fly, which is very fun, so we're glad to be here. And our plan of starting with Fly, because it would get a big queue, I think so far was a good choice.
Yeah, you said
because
it was out the area.
Yeah, I've literally just seen back now. The queue is heading outside of Rookburgh. Outside of the area, you're queuing outside of the themed environment. So I think we might be onto a winner with this one. Fingers crossed. We are on a walk and talk mission with how busy today's going to be with us cramming everything in. So please excuse the sort of somewhat lack of quality control here with what you'd expect at the agency. Quick debrief then on Fly. We're in a cattle pen. Quick debrief on Fly. Yeah, incredible. Now, I think sometimes when you do it like as your first ride, you might have some sort of preconceived expectations about what to expect from a ride. You know, people say it's so good or it's not that good, and you get your own idea of it. And then yesterday I was kind of like, oh, and I wasn't really blown away by it, so to speak, because I think I somewhat expected it to be better, but I can't tell you why. I think just because it had so much hype and so much love and care for it given by everyone that had spoke to me about it. But then riding it again now, first thing, knowing what to expect from the layout, from the land, from the ride itself, you know, how the trains work, the comfortability of the collars, etc., like all that sort of thing. And now I'm like, yes. And it just clicked for me, it really did. So I really love that, really rate it. Little things like the sort of journey into the first launch, the way that obviously the train maneuvers you into that position. I love those trains and the whole maneuverability into the flying position. I think it's fantastic. I noticed as well when the trains come into the station, there's lights that come in, so as the train comes in it turns red, when it leaves it goes to blue, like little details like that. Yeah, as well we noticed lights in the queue as well, these like water tanks. Some are like red like Iron Brew and then blue like Powerade, which is just being silly, but yeah, it was really good, really like that. I'm glad we did it first thing, but next up, Chiapas. Look how wet you are,
Yeah, very
my
much so.
son and my friend.
Oh.
How did you find Chiapas? You are the water king, Detective Clements.
I think it's probably the best log flume I've been on.
I would agree.
Yeah.
What about you, Cookson?
Same.
That's great, wasn't it?
The indoor bits are really fun,
Yeah,
and then the drops are all good.
going backwards.
Spoiler.
The spoiler.
Yeah, it's just really good.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think, is it better than Valhalla as
Oh,
an
yeah.
example?
yeah,
I think they're in a different category.
yeah.
Yeah, I was
But-
thinking this is more like, that was more flume, whereas that's more,
That's
Valhalla's
more like a
boat.
coach. It feels a bit more like a coaster Valhalla because you don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I'd agree.
But,
And I think the theme of that was so like, top class, wasn't it?
Yeah,
As opposed to
very good.
Valhalla. No offense to Pleasure Beach,
Yeah.
but I think you understand why.
And there's like, they're not like lap bars, but there's bars that come down so you feel a bit more secure than other
Oh,
flume
100%,
rides.
yeah.
Or you just struggle to get out.
Yeah.
I couldn't get on the boat at the end. I did struggle with my bag as
Oh,
well.
As you didn't
Twice
fall
now.
out.
What?
That's twice you've struggled to get out of something. It was the national and that.
Yeah. It's to be fair, it's the bags on ride as well, which probably didn't help matters. But
Yeah.
I thought that was superb.
We got wet, but not as wet as we thought we might have, so that was a bonus.
Yeah. And now we're going to carry on the wet time with.
They have to make sure the boat is full as well.
Yeah, it's a good good use of throughput, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't really go on it as an empty boat, just two of you.
So they batch it as there's a queue of 3 or more, and then a queue of 2 or less.
Yeah.
And you are then joined with other people
Yeah,
like we
join with
were.
other
So
people, yeah.
yeah, very good time. Out of 10.
8.
Ooh. Well done, Phantasialand. We'll take that.
8, I think 8's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
So yesterday we spoke about the 1-2 punch, as we say, in regards to Taran and F.L.Y. But I think actually the 1-2 punch of Chiapas and River Quest is just as good, maybe better. Like, to have 2 really good 1-2 punches in one park is pretty extraordinary. I mean, there was loads in that, wasn't there, guys? Sorry,
Yeah,
they're kind of
absolutely brilliant,
just
really.
here.
Enjoyed
I mean, having dual lifts was really cool.
Yeah.
Having those drops was crazy as well, really unexpected. It's sort of like almost like a
It's like a toilet.
yeah, on the first one, kind of 2 lanes come together and you go down, which is mad, and then you got the toilety bit, I guess, where you kind of
Yeah.
it's like you're being flushed down, and then that last one really caught us off guard.
Oh,
Didn't
it was very
crazy.
steep, I thought.
Really was, and I didn't think I'd get wet. I've got a bit of a wet foot, which is fine, but
Yeah,
and the drop at the
stage.
station, yeah, the whole ride was really well themed, and it was just like element, fun. Really good, really solid. Is it better than Amazonia? Because that's kind of my top rapids at the moment, which. Yeah, it's different, isn't it? Because Amazonia is more of a unique hybrid of elements and therefore feels odd to really compare. But in terms of a standard rapids, I thought I was solid. But you still love your,
I prefer Popeyes.
yeah, Universal.
You
I've
get
not done it in a
you-
long
you
time.
get so wet.
I've not done that in a long time, so I can't comment myself.
I had to get changed and buy tops just so I can get dry.
Yeah, that's a lot, definitely. So I'm curious. I'm gonna hopefully be back in Orlando at some point. So I'm excited to see what that's about. But in terms of right here, right now, yeah, Chiapas solid. We've got, that's not my watch. We've got what, 3 hours left? I think 2.5 hours left. So
3 hours today. Nah.
time now is 12 o'clock on the dot. Says 40 minutes for what's this? The mine train?
The runaway
Colorado. So I don't think it'll be 40. I think it'll be less, but let's see how we get on. Tell you what, today is full of surprises. Colorado Adventure? What the heck? So we thought it was a power coaster, which is not. It's just a standard mine train coaster. But that was so fun. And like with a lot of the rides here, which I'm gonna touch on again later, I think, when we summarise. With like a lot of the rides, a lot of it was hidden. If you didn't know what was coming, there's quite a huge section which is in like a show building essentially, but themed up. And then another section was similar, but in the dark, and we had no idea where we were going. Getting surprisingly thrown about a bit. I was on my own, which might have meant I was thrown about a bit more. Again, theming, everything, just the whole area was superb. Michael Jackson loved it as well. His name was in the ride at one point, which is crazy. One of our detectives out there in the field did comment on some Europa videos explaining that, so thank you for the information. Josh says it's better than Taran. I don't know if I'd say it's better than Taran, but then again, in a way it is, and it kind of ties in with what we said in the previous case, so please look if you haven't seen it. But in summary, it's hard to really compare rides unless you're comparing 2 mine trains. You know, you can't really compare a mine train to a Intamin Blitz, for example. But that was really good. Really surprised at how good that was. And yeah, probably one of my favourite mine trains I've done. So today, one of my favourite mine trains, one of my favourite flumes, and one of my favourite river rapids. So yeah, there's still some more rides to get on, so we ain't stopped. Oh, and also pizza. So we just stopped for Focaccia. Our friend Coaster Tog out there did also say, yeah, Focaccia's really good. Cheap price, beautiful sauce, really liked it. But top tip from ourselves is that there's 2 places to get this stuff from. There's somewhere upstairs, and I can't remember quite off the top of my head where that was, but downstairs there is a little shop near the sort of viewing area and the final splashdown of Chiapas. So come right down here, much quicker, was upstairs, big queues. Top tip from us here at the Miracle Detective Agency. So Crazy Bats was interesting. I mean, I was quite excited to do it, simply because when we were at Europa Park in case 51, we did a VR experience. So it was Coastality with Phantom of the Opera, and that was really fun. I thought it was really done well. The fact that you got to put on your VR headsets before you boarded the ride, before the pre-show, and then you got onto the coaster and did all that was superb. And this one didn't have that, unfortunately. So you had to put on your goggles as you were getting into the train, and my goggles broke and then didn't fit on me properly, and then I felt very motion sick, which has never happened before with any coaster, and not with the Phantom of the Opera experience either. So I'd assume it's a VR specific thing, but I couldn't be certain. And again, I assume as well that it's an IP with the bats. It was okay. It was kind of, I mean, it was different. Obviously, it's aimed at the kids, and the coaster itself was a fairly good experience in terms of the layout, etc. But in a way, it was kind of ruined by the fact that you could see where you were going, which obviously in like a standard coaster you would see where you were going. But I like that with the Phantom of the Opera one, you couldn't see. There was no sort of designated track, whereas in this one in Crazy Bats, largely there was a sort of glassy ice path that you'd be following. So we did that. I say we did that because you can see I'm clearly not at Phantasialand anymore. So we did that, and then we managed to somehow sneak in Mystery Tower, is it called? Mystery Tower. River Quest. Yeah, Mystery Tower. And sorry, my phone's not on me. And that was superb, so good. So it literally just is like a massive tower, some sort of mystery, and it was great. It was really good. I don't want to spoil exactly how it works, but it's got high throughput. We waited about 10 minutes and we got through, and that was, yeah, really good. Then we rushed to the transfer that we had, came to the airport, done all that, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm sat, waiting to get on our plane. So, a bit weird to kind of summarise outside the park, but yeah, a very quick day as we said, but we did the same amount of rides today as we did yesterday because we were smart with our options and what we wanted to do. The fact that we did fly straight away, which was definitely worth it as the queues really rocketed up. The fact that we did the water rides early on before potentially it got too sunny and they got too busy. Chiapas actually closed later on, so that was really good that we did that when we did. And what I learned today from the park is that the supporting rides are just as good. There are good coasters, like Taron and Fly are good. And Colorado Express, was a Columbia Express, Colorado Express was a surprise hit. I really enjoyed that. There's still really good supporting stuff, like the two water rides are superb. Mystery Tower, as I just said, was superb. Really, really enjoyed it, and I just definitely felt a lot more heart warmth towards the park today, unlike yesterday. But I think that was a combination of it being pretty much capacity, them not having enough space for everyone, the heat, and our tiredness levels as well, which is a shame. So as a sort of summary for the weekend, it's been a lot, but it's been fun. I'm glad we've done it. However, I know we'll come back. We didn't get to go on all the coasters. There's still another spinning coaster, and there's Rake as well, the boomerang in Klugheim. But I'm glad we came, and I definitely want to come back. Been chatting a lot and found that Christmas sounds to be a really good plan as well. So really keen to come back at Christmas when it's all cold and wintry and cute and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, superb park. But I do think it needs extra capacity. Certainly seems to be landlocked. And so I don't know what they could do. I don't know what would be the plan. I'm not really that well versed on that, unfortunately. But I think some sort of other ride would be really good. Probably another coaster, because that's going to help with capacity. And it's not like they can they're not going to improve the infrastructure now. That's not going to happen, is it? We can't suddenly widen the paths like at Europa and make loads more space. That's not going to happen. But another ride would definitely help. But clearly, it's a beautiful park. The fact that it's an independent park as well is great. And it's just been, a lovely weekend. I really love exploring new parks. But I think the main premise, I feel, with all the themes and the experiences is mystery. It's discovery. And this is why there's no POVs on board. And they even say that in their responses. If you want to do a POV, for example, on a ride, etc., they just say they want that sort of element of surprise and mystery and discovery for guests, and I completely get that. There's a lot of different areas, themes. It doesn't quite bleed into each other a little bit. For example, when you're in the Asian area, you can see very clearly like Colorado Express and some of Klugheim, but there's other areas where they do disguise it well, and I think they probably do the same on other bits. Seems like at the moment, actually, between Mexico and Klugheim, they seem to be building more buildings and creating more of a divide between the two, so it's not as blended like it's not seeping through, if you will. But yeah, the main point I want to try and point out, I realise I'm on like 6 minutes here, is discovery and the element of surprise. I mean, it's such a tight, compact park. The fact that you've got all these near misses on so many coasters because it's all crammed in so much. And the fact you don't know what's happening. I mean, there's some hidden scenes on Chiapas which are great, hidden drops you wouldn't know about. You've also got Mystery Castle, as I mentioned, River Quest. Again, so many surprises. The whole of F.L.Y is very much hidden, like you can't take any electronics with you because they want it to be so well hidden, and it is. And yeah, I mean, yeah, you can see the layout, but you don't see all of it. So it's, yeah, really good. I think that's the magic of that park, is the element of surprise, if you will. So I'm going to summarise that there. It's been a long ending, bit of a weird ending. I don't really just chat like this, but here we are, had a lot to do, busy day. So I'm going to go back to base, back in the UK, and we will see you soon for another case. That is Phantasialand, case closed.